The algorithms and platforms don't actually care about like to dislike ratio. They only care about engagement. So even if people engage negatively, leave like a thumbs down or whatever, it's still good for the algorithm. If you don't like something, completely ignore it. That's the only way to make it go away. I said, yeah, we have our dogs, all 3 dogs are handicapped or something along those lines. She was like, kind of like, what? I was like, yeah, one's a blind diabetic. One has severe allergies and wears a cone almost all the time. And then we have one dog that doesn't even know that she's alive. I don't think in recent years, in a big budget movie, I have seen worse CGI. It's just one guy, literally in his basement, doing it. And then you look at these movies and shows that have hundreds of millions of dollars of production budget, and it just looks terrible. Welcome back to the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast, the podcast that at the time of recording this is probably still being ripped off by some has-been washed up dummies from reality TV. But we're okay. We're still here. We're doing better than them. We're high class. They're low class. Look at
if
Nona.
you have to say it, then that makes you not high class.
I don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. Just saying that somebody was on reality TV probably tells everybody they need to know. So, Nona.
Yes.
And I guess we can also, since we didn't get that into the recording of the other one, we've got some more topics today, some pop culture type stuff, some movies, some TV, things like that.
Okay.
We were talking about the show that I haven't seen yet, and we can comment on that real quick and then move on.
Which show?
The Special Forces or whatever it is, the reality TV that Cam Newton's in, and some other athletes. I don't know who all's in it. They just keep showing Cam Newton, everything I've seen.
Okay.
It's him jumping off. I think he's on a Zodiac boat and he's trying to jump.
Are you interested in watching it? Why are you?
No. We were talking about reality TV. And you were saying that the people on those shows are washed up has-beens. And I was like, no, he's still famous. I think.
Well, you were saying that these people who are ripping off our podcast are washed up has-beens. Yeah. And I said, no, they're more likely to be aligned with influencers, not washed up has-beens. And then you started... Has-beens. But they've never been famous previously. Whereas when I think of a washed up has-been, it's somebody who was famous.
Yeah, they were
and is
famous.
Trying
and now they're no longer
to step
famous.
Back into the light.
And they're trying to form a podcast to step back into the light.
No, they're trying to ride the reality train still and drag it out longer. They're not washed up.
When were they on it? They're washed up.
You're the one who told me about them. I literally don't know anything about them.
I don't know anything about them either. Yeah, that show is like, it's marketed as like all these like special operations.
I'm pretty sure Denise Richards is on Special Forces. I've only seen one preview for it like 3 weeks ago. Denise Richards is the quintessential washed up. She's most popular on OnlyFans now. That's where she makes her money. That is a washed up has-been. Okay.
Anyways,
so you want to watch Special Forces apparently.
No.
Okay, then why are you talking about it?
Because we were talking about washed up has-beens. Okay. How do you guys, like, what is your definition of it? Like, does somebody who's a one-hit wonder who disappears and then tries to come back with a podcast, are they washed up has-been, or were they just a one-hit wonder? Let us know. Comments, wherever you are. Make sure you leave a rating as well on whatever platform you're on. I don't know if all of them offer the opportunity to do it, but yeah, leave us a rating and review. Let us know what you like. Leave a comment. Tell us what to talk about. We do have some stuff.
Only let us know if you like us. If you don't like us, just carry on.
No. Actually,
that's what you made it sound like.
No. So the algorithms and platforms don't actually care about like to dislike ratio. They only care about engagement. So even if people engage negatively, leave like a thumbs down or whatever, it's still good for the algorithm. If you don't like something, completely ignore it. That's the only way to make it go away.
Troll of the week.
Troll of the week.
That's what I had reminded, I was trying to touch your thigh when I did that, and I hit the...
Okay, so let's finish out the football thing
I just
real
remembered what I had reminded you previously of what...
Finish out the football thing real quick.
Okay.
My prediction, the game tonight as we're recording this, so this is going to come out 3 days after the game is over, is that Notre Dame is going to get completely steamrolled. I don't like Notre Dame or Ohio State because I'm a Michigan fan. So, but...
You would rather Ohio State win over Notre Dame?
I would rather a team that Michigan beat and is in the same conference as Michigan win the game. Because that shows the conference strength, that shows Michigan's strength, that makes Michigan look good, and everybody just hates Notre Dame.
Okay.
So...
Obviously, this is coming out after the score is out. So if you're wrong, then what will you get me?
I'm not wrong. I'm not going to be wrong. It's going to be... I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bloodbath.
Okay. All right. So troll of the week.
Troll of the week. Okay. This might be something that we implement because we do get some
random
not
trolls.
Even just random. Not even... Oh, hey, we're at 2,999 subscribers. We're one subscriber away from hitting 3,000 as we're recording this.
So we're probably going to be at the 3,000 mark on Thursday when you guys are hearing this.
Hey, we're going to do a 3,000 subscriber giveaway right now. No, we're already past it. Sorry. You already lost. We'll come up with something into the future. We do have some ideas. We have some people that we're talking about doing some stuff with. It's really difficult doing all the planning and editing and coordinating and hosting. So once we can get somebody to take some of those roles off my plate, I did talk to the team from Anti-Hero to ask them who they were using. They're doing everything in-house. So I've been talking with them to say like, hey, you guys want to do something? We'll pay a little bit to do some of the stuff. We'll see. So if I go to community, there was a comment on the TikTok video that was like really weird. And there are people that...
You said it was an old woman bashing
different
me.
Different comment. I'm going to come to that one, but I just wanted to bring this one up too.
Okay.
So this person said on the TikTok video, they commented yesterday, story, everyone make money, don't pay tax, TikTok free, USA want money, go Bierno.
So they can't type or read or listen.
And I just said, what? What? What are you asking, or what is your statement? What is that?
Okay. So get to the troll of the week, which is an old woman who is bashing me.
Yep. Let me find
for the intro of our podcast.
Yeah. No. It was the Matt Rife episode. Matt Rife claims late puberty led to his glow up is the episode she commented on.
Right.
But Constance Walsh 3646 5 days ago says, is this a couple? 7 minutes into this, and every single word and attitude of this woman has been to distance or diminish the man. Even so far as to criticize him, in public, ! On camera, ! You point the finger at him, and you have 3 pointing back at yourself, sister. Sad and depressing. You will lose a good man. I am an old woman, and I know what I'm talking about.
Much depressing, much sad. Made me cry. Big tears.
And my response was, we're sorry you were a terrible wife. Good luck to you. Well, how do you go into content completely unaware of like what the format and style and what do you want to call it? Like the essence? That's not the right word. Think like, you know.
Speaking of essence, I don't know what the fuck our essence is of our podcast.
If you go into a comedy, like a comedy club, right? And you're expecting stand up, and then it's somebody like being a mime and crying, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Okay. Right? So when you consume content and it clearly says comedy, entertainment, satire, and then you're like, oh, you're so rude to your husband.
This is a very unserious platform.
Yeah, for one, the show's not scripted, but like...
And I have literally no idea what is going to come out of his mouth. So I just have to roll with it at all times.
Yeah. We told the story about what I said to the person, right? About the dogs. Did we ever say that on the show?
I think so.
If you guys don't know, we were looking at some new construction houses, and we went into an open house or model home.
It was a model home, and there was an agent on duty.
And when we were explaining how many kids and dogs we had, I said, yeah, and we have our dogs, all 3 dogs are handicapped or something along those lines. She was like, kind of like, what? I was like, yeah, one's a blind diabetic. One has severe allergies and wears a cone almost all the time. She's not wearing it right now. So somebody watched her walk by. And then we have one dog that doesn't even know that she's alive. I don't know what to tell. Like, that's the podcast dog, as you guys might be familiar. Willow, that always, she's clicking and clacking and walking around right now. She's going to knock something over probably. So yeah.
And that was the only thing I said after we left. I was like, I cannot believe you told that poor agent that we have 3 handicapped dogs.
Yeah.
And he was like, why? I was like, because they're not here to defend themselves.
Yep. But one of a recurring theme or like comment that people make, it's always about the title or the actual podcast title.
Oh, and you said that a lot of people say, oh, you must be a feminist or things like that.
Yeah.
This man is not a feminist. He is extremely misogynistic. He gives 0 fucks.
Barbara Duran Flores 812 on the Nick Irving episode, Combat Jacks and Porter Johns with Reaper 33 Nicholas Irving, says, I'm right. No timestamp. Don't know what she's talking about. So you're not very right if you can't even bring forward what you're talking about.
Okay.
It's like the proclamation that what's his name has in The Office when he's declaring bankruptcy, and he just like runs out and he's like, I declare bankruptcy. That's not how that works. You have to actually go to court and
I forgot about
file the paperwork and do all that kind of stuff. You know, just proclaiming that you're right with no other context doesn't really do much for anybody. It doesn't do much for us. Doesn't do much for you, because then I have to respond and be like, about what? What could you possibly be right about? Barbara Flores, whatever. Who knows? Nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever know. See if there's anything else recently. I forgot about this one. 12 days ago.
Okay.
The Real Stokely says, females are to be seen and not heard, especially about sports.
I don't have anything to contribute, but he said I'm not allowed to be silent on this podcast.
And he has a sports channel. I looked at his channel.
And it has like what, 3 posts and 2 viewers?
12 total views.
And how many videos?
I don't remember. This was 12 days ago.
Okay.
12 total views, and it's like a sports show. Good job. Hold on. Because of the sports show. Golf clap.
Okay.
Good job.
Again, he told me I was not allowed to be silent, and I'm not allowed to just smile and nod when he talks about sports or Army things and things that I just don't know or care about, that I'm supposed to contribute. So I'm doing the best I fucking can.
Okay. So we'll move on from the comments here in a minute, but there's a couple more that I did want to bring up or talk about real quick.
Okay.
I posted the weird sign video from Puerto Rico. So if you guys haven't seen this, I posted this as a short, and it's also on all of our social media channels. So if you're watching on Apple or listening on Amazon or whatever and don't know what we're talking about, go to YouTube or go to Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and look for this video from about 2 weeks ago, roughly 2 weeks ago. And I said, does elevator mean something different in Puerto Rico?
Okay.
In this, I don't know it's not really a hallway. It's like a corridor. Is that what you would call it?
Sure, but it's kind of where 2 hallways intersect. Sort of.
Kind of. I don't know. It's like there's like the offshoot for like utility elevator and stuff and vending machines and whatever else. So you come in this.
There was like a laundry for the maids to be able to use too.
So you come off the lobby, the main lobby, and there's like this. It's like a kind of like a bridge thing. It overlooks the pool on one side, and right next to it is an elevator, and then as you walk past it, there's a staircase and there's a little offshoot corridor, and then like the corridor to the rooms. So it's like an open air. It's not actually like a hallway. And inside the little corridor is another elevator. And in the wall that partitions between those two, so they're right here and right here. It says elevator on the other floor or something like that. And I'm like, took the video. I'm like, there's one there and one there. What do you mean? I guess the elevator is on the other floor, but it's also here on this floor. Because it's such a weird sign. I was like, does elevator mean something different in Puerto Rico? Because I know that those red coats in Europe, they call it a lift, which I hate people that are trying to adapt British terms here in the U.S. Stop it. We use our language. They can adapt to us. We
use American here, not
American
English.
English, yes.
You're one of those people?
Yeah. So Rat Pack 044 says, this is scary.
Much terrifying.
With a bunch of emojis. I'm standing in the corridor. Like, what is scary about it?
You're going to die.
What is scary about it? I don't know. So anyways, somebody said, how do I block this? Commented on our video. How do I block this? I don't know. Use your fingers. That works for me. Somebody for the short with you plucking my nose hairs.
Okay.
Stereo Heaven 11 says, bad idea. That will rupture blood vessels in your nose. Merry Christmas. Okay. Pretty sure it won't. Pretty sure there's probably a big majority of society that does that. Plucks at least, not just shaves. Do all women do it?
I have no idea.
Maybe. All right. Anyways, let's go back to talking about pop culture stuff.
Okay.
The shows and movies and things that we've been watching recently.
Okay. What have we been watching, Andrew?
Well, okay. One that I watched and you didn't watch with me, and you'll be glad that you didn't. I watched Kraven the Hunter, which, for one, I didn't even know it came out in theaters yet, let alone that it was released like to streaming and digital and stuff. I had no idea that nobody has done any reviews on it that I know of. It's just because
it just exists.
It's the same universe that Venom exists in. It's Sony's Spider-Verse. He's a Spider-Man villain, just like Venom is.
Okay.
So I don't think in recent years, in a big budget movie, I have seen worse CGI. I mean, bad. All of it's like there's nothing other than like his powers. There's nothing like supernatural about it. Like the animals and things that exist are just normal animals.
Okay.
But there's like lions and leopards and other animals like in Africa and Sahara and stuff like that. And they are just horrific. It is bad. Corridor does a thing periodically where they'll like fix CGI for movies and shows. And usually they do it in like a way that actually makes it worse. Like and I'm not saying that like
Have they done it for this video yet?
No, but I'm assuming they will. So they typically do, so like they did Willy Wonka, but they like made it R-rated. So all the deaths in Willy Wonka, they like added blood to and things like that. So usually it's like they do it jokingly. They're not putting a whole lot of production effort, but it's funny to watch.
Okay.
Sometimes they do actually put in the effort, or in their like VFX artist react show where they'll have somebody who's just an independent, what do you call it? What's it called when you're like, you create your own movies or games? Indie. Like an indie creator.
Okay.
And they'll have one of them on the show, or they'll talk to him, or they'll reference some of their work, and they're like, here's what you can do with this piece of software with like an hour. And it just looks amazing. And it's just one guy literally in his basement doing it. And then you look at these movies and shows that have hundreds of millions of dollars of production budget, and it just looks terrible. And they actually, the recent video that they did this weekend that I just watched, they were commenting on that Megalopolis movie that I said I wanted to watch with you, which it's not what I thought it was. It's crazy. But apparently the director for it got so mad with the VFX team at some point during the production, they just fired the whole team and hired all new people. It was like his nephew or something like that he hired.
Okay.
And it's what do they call it? It's like poetic poetic realism or something like that is the term that they use for it. So like when something is bad, but it's...
I hope our viewers are following you because I certainly am not.
They are. So when something is bad, but it's intended to be bad, like that's the parody, is you're making something bad to parody things that should be good but are bad.
Like Tropic Thunder?
Sure. I mean, there wasn't like really CGI in Tropic Thunder. It was just a parody movie of like war movies, but...
Right. I'm just, again, trying to follow and barely grasping what you're talking about.
I got that off my chest. Kraven, the Hunter,
was terrible.
CGI is horrific.
Was the plot terrible as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it shouldn't have been made.
It wasn't as bad as Venom 3 or 2, for that matter.
Okay.
Yeah, those were like terrible plots. But yeah, I don't know. But we've watched that show. What was it called? With the girl. Come on, work with me here.
No Good Deed? Is that what you're talking about? The girl?
Yeah. Because she's the character between multiple shows that we watched. So that's what I was.
What are you talking about? Oh. Okay. Again, his brain is sometimes hard to follow. Okay, we just finished No Good Deed yesterday. Yeah. We binge watched it for the entire Sunday afternoon.
Binge watched, it's 8 episodes.
Right, and they're like 40 minutes long, but yeah.
I'm sure they were like 30, 28. I don't know why they actually did seem longer. It felt closer to like an hour, so I don't know how they pulled that off. But
anyways, it was pretty good, I would say. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
knowing that it's a one-off miniseries, whatever, it's not going to have another season.
I want to know what happened to Luke Wilson.
They kind of showed he's an actor in another state now, kind of living his life.
But I still want to know.
Oh.
Like, I want to know how he actually... Because he said in the show, oh, we're going to have some barking in a second. Maybe they won't hear it. There's a little yappy dog outside barking. Sorry, guys. So he said he wanted to reinvent himself or whatever. And
they did. For the last like 3 minutes of the final episode, they do kind of show what happens to every character. They closed it out pretty well.
But I don't want it to be closed out. Okay. I liked all the actors that were in the show. So it sounds
like Andrew is actually more invested in this show than I am.
Yeah, I want them to make another one.
Okay. And you want him to be the main character in the next season.
Well, I think they could do like an anthology type thing, like with what's her name, where Stifler's mom, where like everything that happens.
Oh, you're talking about White Lotus, which comes back in about 20 days.
Yeah, like now. she's always in the story, but like the stories.
Except she died in this past season, so she's not coming back for the third.
They'll resurrect her.
You think so?
Yeah, something fake will have happened or something. Who knows? Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
There was so many big names in there.
Yeah, there were.
Ray Romano and
Lisa Kudrow
and Luke Wilson and whatever.
And he hates Netflix in general, so it takes a lot to get him to watch something. But we didn't have anything else to do yesterday, and we just kind of hung out and watched TV.
Could you imagine that? What was her name? Liz, whatever that said was the writer or creator of the show. Like, how do you go from let's make a show about the horrors of selling a house and then turning it into that story?
It probably was sparked from a personal experience, whether it was peripherally or from her own.
But you have said in general that you don't like movies and shows where you don't know most of the information up front and they do a lot of flashbacks. You said that you don't like that, or you have said that you don't like that.
What I specifically don't like is when we watched one show where it was like each episode you saw the same. Oh, it was the
they did this
the apples, the apples fall. Yeah, where you saw the same story over and over from each person's perspective. I find that to be really annoying.
They kind of did that because they showed how the son died bit by bit. They showed it, made it look like he was.
But it was a lot more palatable and building up to, and I only guessed who the actual killer was the episode previously. Whereas
as soon as Luke Wilson, or not Luke Wilson, as soon as Luke's wife in the show brought his daughter over, so her stepdaughter or whatever, as soon as that happened, all I could think of was that show that we watched, The Woman in the Window or whatever, and it turned out to be the 9-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought
the poor girl, the 10-year-old girl was the killer.
She was going to start being like, I'm sorry I killed your son, but...
Oh my gosh. No, and at that point, I'd already guessed the episode previously that it was the stepmom.
Yep.
Just from the clues that we're building up. But they did a pretty good job of hiding, whereas I feel like a lot of times it's so obvious from the beginning. I'm just, now we have to rewatch the same story multiple episodes over and over and over again.
This is Allergy Dog. Disabled number 2.
No.
So, yeah. So, and then now we're on...
Dead to Me?
Yeah.
Which came out several years ago, but it's the same producer, director.
It's the same writer, same creator,
whatever.
Okay, so Hollywood is really weird about how they make things seem bigger than what they are. Because when somebody's an executive producer, they usually just have some tangential, they actually didn't have any role. They were just a consultant or made a decision or something like that, or they helped get the person in the door.
Have you ever been an executive director?
Executive producer, I said.
Or producer?
Yeah.
You've been an executive producer?
Yeah.
On what?
On Not a War Story.
What?
Because I was there when Tom was creating the movie poster for it, and I helped
pull it up. Prove that you are listed as an executive
Andrew
producer.
Hey, our pictures from Puerto Rico are coming up. Nice. Let's see here. All of my sites. IMDb's not coming up yet. Wait, why am I on Amazon? Oh, it's... Look, Andrew Lemacks is known on Amazon, known for Range 15, Not a War Story, He's Wrong, She's Right. Amazon's calling me an actor.
Very concerning.
Why? I'm an actor. But it's the gray, mannequin meme. You know what I'm talking about? The health one, it's HELTH.
Oh, gosh.
Actor. I think that one is AKTOR or AKTER, something like that.
Okay.
All right. See here, Not a War Story. It says producer, but continue. Yeah. Range 15, producer. Not a War Story, producer. And then He's Wrong, She's Right, producer. Surviving the Cut, self. Because I wasn't playing a character, I was being myself.
Much special.
Good
Good job.
job. Good job. So,
Andrew.
Yeah. But that when you put executive in the front of it, that's they didn't really have a part of it, but throwing their name in the title screen gives it more credibility. Okay. That's mostly what it is, typically. But yeah. The whole the movie poster for Not a War Story, where you see the camera boom arm coming in on, because it's a documentary about the making of Range 15, so it's supposed to be the behind the scenes perspective, and the image itself that's being used on the cover, one of the zombies walking towards the fire or something like that. He had to edit and touch up color and add other things in there to make it look more dramatic, and then he added, so it looks like if you're looking at the screen right now watching, you see the arm come in from, if I go like this, comes in from off screen and then it's hanging. So really shows you that you're looking at the behind the scenes. And I was this was in Ranger Up's old warehouse in Durham, I mean, this had to have been, it's 2016? Because that's, the movie came out in 2016? Something like that? What?
I have no words.
Why?
I just have no words.
Okay. Well, the story for that the other show, the Dead to Me. Mm-hmm. How many lies and betrayals and weird things? Like, would you still be friends with the girl that killed me? After she stalked you to make friends with you and
no, but you know that I have no problem cutting people out of my life. I have pretty much cut everybody out of my life.
But what if she was actually intelligent enough to never give it away? And never confess? Yeah.
I don't know. Like, having somebody deceptive in your life that I would always be wary as to then wondering why were they so invested.
I did think when the neighbor was talking about how she heard somebody arguing and she was talking about how good her security cameras are. And in the scene they showed, it made it look like she shot him. And I was like, the whole time thinking like, how? And I even mentioned this to you. Neighborhoods like that,
right?
You have basically an area like where we live, they don't do this because they don't care enough about us. It's like in the ghetto and in really rich, affluent neighborhoods.
That's not true at all. They have it for all of Wilmington. Yep.
No.
Promise you.
I bet we can go fire off rounds right now. And if the neighbors didn't call the cops.
I promise you it would go off on the whatever Wilmington police scanner, shooter scanner thing or whatever it's called. And
nobody would come here.
Promise you.
Nobody would come here. They would never figure it out.
Nope. You are incorrect in that.
Nope. You know how I know
Did you ever tell the story about your boy texting you about...
I think I did. I don't know if
No, you did not.
I didn't?
Oh. Tell him right now.
Why don't we just let him tell the story? He's going to come on.
When?
I think next week.
Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and just tell that part?
Well, I don't want to give up what his job is.
Okay.
He was doing a drug bust, and they were flying a drone, and they happened to be where we live. There's a bunch of different. For one, a lot of these neighborhoods and subdivisions and things were developed all in like various different decades, and they all kind of weave and butt up to each other in weird different ways. And so they were doing a drug bust in an apartment complex that's like direct line from here. It's probably a quarter mile, but he was up flying drone around, or somebody he was with was flying a drone around, and they were waiting for whatever they were going to do. And I happened to be coming home, and I backed into the driveway, and he texted me as I'm backing in. He's like, "It's a good job backing your truck in." And I was like, What are you talking about? Where are you?" So, yeah, good times.
The way you told that story was terrible. It was way funnier when it happened.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you tell the story and make it funnier than as it was happening live? How do you tell the story funnier than I did?
Okay.
I walked inside, and I was like, saw me back in the driveway.
I was not going to say his name.
I'm not going to say his name.
You just did.
I'm going to edit it. It's going to be edited.
Oh, my goodness. Anyways. All right. What else did you want to talk about?
That's it.
Okay.
Pop culture stuff. This time of the year is really kind of trash for everything. This football season's now basically over. You've got stuff going on in DC, and that's all the news is talking about. There's nothing else trending other than so-and-so said this, and see, he was wearing this. And it's a worse version of like an award show. Because at least those people are attractive for the most part. Right?
Well,
Right?
let's focus
Right?
on the positives. You are kicking off basketball season. You've got basketball practice tonight. You're going to get those boys to learn some defense and dribbling of the ball properly with just one hand and not two. Let's focus on the positives. Valentine's is right around the corner. Are you going to do anything for Valentine's this year?
Hallmark holiday. We'll see.
Okay.
Why would I give up that information now?
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks for watching. And yeah, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure, do we hit 3,000? Should we do like a celebration right now? Ooh, 3,001.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
2 people followed just in the time that you had looked at it last. Wow.
Yep.
I wonder how disappointed they are.
So thank you for the 3,000th and 3,001st subscribers.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep. And we will see you in the next one with a couple of really good guest episodes coming up. So as you guys know, you can't really go off the order of what I say on the show. You just gotta check. Click on the video, check the thumbnail. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.